Hi, I'm Beth of Bev's Bells, and today I'm going to be doing two-part video. One part is going to be the warm-up, body weight, plus the theraband, loop band, and lightweight kettlebell warm-up for the reverse pyramid eccentric isometric contraction workout, which will be obviously the next video. So if you rather do your own warm-up, you're welcome to do that, and then join back with the video for the workout. And if you'd like to follow along this workout, great. So we're going to just start with doing some chin tucks just to warm up the neck. So looking up and down, and then we'll be on the floor as well. Like I said, I'm going to be using a theraband and a loop band and a block if you have it handy. And then looking left and right, just warming up the neck. Have a routine. You start from the top down, and then you don't forget anything major, any of the major joints. And then doing neck sweeps, left and right. And I'm going to grab my theraband, and we're just going to do some arm sweeps for the shoulders, but also it warms up your thoracic spine and your scapular, because as you sweep back, so you're sort of holding it arm's length and a little bit of tension in the band, and as you sweep up and over and brush your shoulder blades, you want to try and focus on pinching the shoulder blades, your scapular together, and then sweeping back up and over. So, just engaging those big back muscles, warming them up right now. Mobility, very important, especially with the workout we're going to be doing in the next video. You're going to have one core move and one overhead move. Two lower body moves. So the overhead, of course, you really want to warm up your shoulders. All right, now I'm going to get down on the floor and just do a wide leg seat like this with my legs out in a V. If you have tight hamstrings, you could bend your knees, just trying to sit upright. And then again, using the band just for a little bit of resistance. You're going to have one arm in the middle here, and without moving your hips, I want you to move your upper torso, so your spine, and using your obliques, pull and breathe out twice. Come to the center, pull, breathe out twice. Keeping your shoulders away from the ears in your back pocket. So again, engaging your scapular to pinch those shoulder blades together when your arm comes around. Breathing and in. So we're just sort of rinsing out the spine. It's quite good. One more. Good. Okay. Just a little more stretching first, and then we'll use the loop band. So I'm going to get into 90-90, which is the front shin parallel to the front of your mat, and the side shin parallel as much as you can to the side of your mat. And if you're really, really tight, you could bring the hip back, the leg back a bit, or bring the leg in and not so much parallel. The idea is we're going to be stretching out the front leg, the hip, the outer hip, and you just want to lean forward with a flat back and start sort of sweeping back and forth gently, moving gently, just stretching out that front hip and lower back as well. You'll feel it in the lower back. And then you're going to make your way towards the side, so twisting with your chest towards the ground, leaning forwards and backwards. And now you're going to feel it on the opposite lower back. Just warming up. And then we're going to do a nice stretch. So hands, fingers pointed away from you, sort of behind your hip, and you're going to press into the leg and the foot and reach up overhead. Nice big extension, and then come down with the hips. Push up again, reach. Make sure your eye gaze is following your hands, right? You want to, but don't overstretch the head and neck. And one more of those. And then we'll switch. So opposite leg, that chin goes parallel to the front of your mat as much as you can, and back leg parallel to the side of your mat. And again, we're going to lean forward with a flat back towards the floor and kind of sweep side to side gently. You should feel it in that front leg, that hip, and the lower back. And then we're going to make our way towards the side. So leaning towards the side, and then you'll feel it on the opposite lower back, the opposite back. Just sweeping again. And then we're going to press back. So taking your fingers away behind your hip here, pressing up into your legs, and use your glutes and your hips, and arch back and over, and then gently down, and breathing in and breathing out. Do a couple more of these, just opening up. Good. We're going to use the loop and just warm up glute med and glute min with some clamshells. I'm sure many people have done this before. It's a good warm up. So you're going to lie on your side, making sure that you're engaging your obliques and lifting your side off the mat, making sure the elbow and the shoulder are in line. You stack your feet together, shins are parallel to the side of the mat, and you're just going to use your glute med, glute min, and the outer hip here to open up as far as you can, the knees, making sure that your core is pulled in. I'm just going to do a few sets. You don't want to tire the muscles out, but you do want to wake them up, especially for the type of workout that we're going to be doing in the next video, which is slowing down the exercises, doing eccentric contractions, and then holding the muscles in an isometric contraction. One more. And then we'll switch sides. So flip over, stack your feet, making sure your elbow and your shoulder are in line, lifting up with your obliques, and opening and closing. And don't roll over on your back hip. Keep everything nice and stacked so that one hip is on top of the other. So you're really using your glute med, your glute min, you're really focusing on those muscles. Just do a few of those, and then I'm going to mimic some of the exercises in the workout with body weight only, just so that we can practice them without weight first, so that we're more aware of what muscles we should be using, and the movement pattern becoming more familiar. So One of the exercises that we're doing is sort of an eccentric leg lowering exercise, and the kettlebell is held overhead. But the important part about that exercise is that you're properly set up for it. So you'll be down on the mat on the floor, and you're nice, and you're on your back. And I would recommend for people that haven't done this before to start with legs, knees bent to 90. So you're going to do pelvic tilt under, press your lower back into the floor, lift your knees, keep that lower back engagement, squeeze the thighs together, the legs together, arms out to a T, and then you're going to slowly lower the legs towards the floor, keeping the knees even, which tells me that my hips are even. And then bringing the knees back to here, reset if you need to, pulling the belly button in, pressing the lower back into the floor, and slowly lowering the knees. Now, you have to make sure that your opposite shoulder, to the direction where your knees are sweeping, remains on the floor as well. You don't want to lift that up. So practice that a few times, and only go as low as you can, keeping the knees together, level. And then reset at the top, press the lower back in, belly button in, breathing in to lower, keep the shoulder blade on the floor, and breathing out to come up. If your core is strong enough, you could do this exercise with legs extended, especially if you have the flexibility in your hamstrings to be able to bring them up straight up at 90 degrees. Of course, the lever is so long now that it's going to be a lot more challenging. You probably won't get as far towards the floor. I know one side's stronger than the other for me. That's about as far as I can go without teetering over. And keeping the feet level. So breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, keeping that shoulder, opposite shoulder or both shoulders really on the floor, and breathing out. So the actual exercise includes the kettlebell, and you're holding it overhead as a kind of a counterweight. All right, so we're going to do some squats, air squats with a loop, just to warm up. And if you wanted to, you could even do some wall squats, which practices that isometric contraction, because if you're in a wall squat, you're down low and you're holding the muscle contraction. For our purposes, we'll just warm up with a loop around the thighs just to make sure that our knees are tracking, but also because it engages your abductor muscles here on the squat. So just nice big air squats. Breathing in to lower, breathing out to come up, and make sure that your knees are tracking over the middle of the foot, which this band will definitely help you to do that. Weights in the heels, just warming up. And then we'll do some stretches for the legs. Good. All right. So get into half kneeling position, and we'll do some hamstring and hip flexor exercise as well as quad. So here in the half kneeling, just sticking here I'll switch sides. Actually, it's easier to see. Sticking your hip forwards, you're going to stretch your quad first and then release. So just more of a dynamic stretch, sticking it forwards, stretch it, release. Do that a few times. And then we're going to do the hamstring of this leg. This and more of the hip flexor on the back leg. Right now we're trying to focus more here, the quad. So now you can push back and do your hamstring and hip flexor. So here now, hamstring, and just slowly going back and forth, warming things up, stretching things out gently. Do a couple more, and then we're going to just do a little bit more for the thoracic spine. So back to your half kneeling again. You're going to take your hand to your opposite ear and elbow up to the ceiling, breathing in, breathing out, elbow to the instep. And you're just doing these big arcs. Imagine a big arc with your elbow, with half circle, twisting your thoracic spine. Just do a couple more. Last one. Good. And then we're going to switch sides. So starting on the other side, you're just going to do your quad stretches first. So remember, push the hip forward, stretch it all out for a few seconds, and then release. Do it again. Just keep repeating that pattern just to stretch it out. The workout that we're doing next will definitely definitely challenge your lower body. You've got reverse lunges in there and squats. And then we've got, like I said, a overhead move, the press. So now we're doing our hamstrings. So leaning back, hamstring, and then hip flexor, sweeping forwards. Yeah, so we've got a press, and then of course that eccentric leg lowering exercise for the core. Obliques especially will be taxed on that one. Just going back and forth. Good. Then we'll do a quick stretch for the calves and your shin and the ankle with the block, if you have it handy. There. Good. So just making sure that we warm up the calf. So here I'm warming up the back of the leg, the calf, by pushing my heel into the floor. And then I'm going to switch my stance, and I'm going to move this leg forward, and I'm going to press the back knee down and work on my dorsiflexion. So basically toes to knee, knees to toe as much as we can, and stretching out the bottom here as well as the tibia. Here we go again, I'm getting a brain cramp. Anterior tibialis, that's it. And then you just switch basically between the two, so calf and then forwards, back, and then we'll switch legs, because you need quite a bit of dorsiflexion, which is the ability to bend that ankle like this in order to do your reverse lunges and your squats. So, and then we'll grab a light weight and we'll just do a kettlebell, lightweight kettlebell warm-up. And if you heard that blowing of the nose, that's Bob. in the background. He's joining me, but not on video. All right, so grabbing a light weight for you. We're just going to do a quick warm up with the kettlebells. So I'm going to grab an 8. I'm going to start doing my halos. So making sure, you know, glutes are tight, core's pulled in, a little bit of a posterior tilt under. Breathing in, breathing out. Try and touch the shoulder blades with the bell. Big shoulder movement, big sweeps. One more, and then we'll reverse and go the other way. And one more. Then we're going to go around the body just to develop that proprioception, right? That awareness. So feet together, thighs nicely glued together, shoulders down, chest out, and start passing it from hand to hand. Just using your peripheral vision. Try not to waver. Try and keep as still as possible. So engage your glutes, your core is pulled in. And then reverse. And then we're going to do, going to practice the exercises for the workout in the next video, just using a light weight so that we're confident about the movement pattern. All right, so the first exercise that we're going to be doing in the next video is a reverse lunge and a pass through. And that focuses on isometric contraction because you're holding the position. And so we're going to, when you do your reverse lunge, I would recommend that you don't do it on a train track. So you would go off a little bit to the side and try and get that back knee to 90. And this front knee is parallel to the thigh is parallel to the floor as possible. So nice big wide step back. And you're going to be, imagine squeezing those thighs together to keep nice and steady. And then with your torso upright, you're going to pass the bell between the legs, or the leg, sorry, and hold. So it's a slow movement because you want to keep this split lunge here, this reverse lunge position to work the muscle as much as possible under tension. You don't move back and forth. You hold the reverse lunge. You're not stepping out of the reverse lunge. You're just holding it and passing the bell back and forwards. And then you would practice the same thing on the other side. Nice big deep lunge. Holding the position, imagine squeezing the thighs together and passing the bell. And then holding. So pass and hold. Pass and hold. So that's the first exercise. And then the next one is an upper body. It's a press, so we'll practice that with the light weight. So this one is eccentric. We're lowering very slowly. As the muscle lengthens, we are putting it under tension for a longer period of time. Also gives you more time to focus on the movement. It's not rushed. So you press up in 1, you hold for 3, 2, 1. So there's your isometric. And then you lower 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, hold, 2, 3, and lower, 2, 3, 4, 5. Press up in 1, hold, 2, 3, lower, 2, 3, 5. Do the same thing on the other side. Press up in 1, hold, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. And then hold, 2, 3, and lower, 2, 3, 4, 5. And up and 1, hold, 2, 3, and lower, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, based on the weight, that will get heavy, appear heavy very quickly. And the third exercise we're going to do is a rack squat. Again, it's going to involve eccentric, so when you're lowering into the squat position, that your muscles are getting longer, stretching in the thigh and the quad, and that's your eccentric contraction. You slow that down, you hold it at the bottom of the squat for 3, and then you're up in 1. So racking it. If you're using a really heavy weight, you might want to cradle it and hold it, because we don't want to be leaning forwards like this. We want to be able to lean or keep your torso upright. So you're going to lower, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, 2, 3, up in 1, and then lower, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, 2, 3, up in 1. And that's your eccentric racked squat. And the last exercise is the leg lowering, which we have practiced a little bit when we were doing it with body weight only. The only difference now is you're holding a weight overhead, and you need to keep that weight steady in the center. You don't bring it to the opposite side as your legs are sweeping in the opposite direction. You want to keep it right upright as much as you can. So grabbing it by the horns, lying down, bring your knees to 90, press the bell overhead, press your lower back into the floor to begin, belly buttons in, squeeze the thighs together, and lower the knees, keeping them even. Bringing the knees back up with using your obliques, and then breathing in to lower, and breathing out to come up. Try one more on each side. And just slowly with control. And up. And those are the exercises we'll be doing in the workout, which is the next video. Okay, looking forward to joining you.